Hey, this is Corey with Shure. In this video tutorial, we'll talk about RF zones, a coordination feature in Wireless Workbench that allows you to logically group devices and their frequencies by their RF environment. This maximizes the number of compatible frequencies when operating wireless systems in multiple locations at the same time. In Wireless Workbench, RF zones represent distinct RF environments that may or may not overlap with another RF environment. This could be a room or a floor in a building, an entire building on a campus, or a stage at a festival. It's really any environment where we think that distance or physical obstructions would limit the impact of the transmitting signals on the signals in other performance areas. Spectrum availability depends on a variety of factors, such as your location and the surrounding RF environment, the installation size, layout, or even building materials, and of course, the equipment in use. These will all affect how many channels you can get on air. When managed properly with Wireless Workbench, your system coordination can be optimized to reduce the effects of unwanted RF signals. So, when would you use RF zones? You should consider using them when you're working with two or more separate performance areas and the application is not calculating enough frequencies with the single default RF zone. Here's an example layout of a festival with a few stages. Each of the circles represent an RF zone. There's some overlap between them because of their proximity, but not so much that we need to worry about the intermodulation products generated on stage A affecting those on stage B, or vice versa. When the frequencies in use on these stages are considered within the same RF zone, we might struggle to find enough frequencies. But when we coordinate the stages in separate but related RF zones, we can find plenty of frequencies for each stage. Another scenario is in a hotel ballroom where multiple areas are side by side, potentially interacting with one another. But at opposite ends of the divided space, the individual rooms are far enough apart to be considered separate RF zones. Taking that a step further, if there's a roaming transmitter that will need to be used in any of the RF zones, it can be considered its own zone that interacts with each of the others. So, RF zones are not just an organizational tool, they change the way Wireless Workbench calculates and analyzes frequencies. For more information, visit Shure.com.